Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of G&A Podcast with the one, the only, the best bitch you done ever met, Drooby Doo, with my lovely co-host, that guy.
Thanks for doing my intro. So, Brony, not making it as good as yours.
And today we have some really exciting things to talk about in terms of anime. Overall, once again, this was another solid week. As this is not a surprise because it's the end of the road, so of course everything is being all hyped and crazy and shit. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about, so let's just get right to it.
All right, so Hero Academia, as always, because it's always number one, it's always the best. So we finally get to Todoroki and Bakugo's fight. Before they fight, they have a bit of a confrontation in the waiting room. Where Bakugo tells Todoroki to not hold back and go all out. And, of course, during the fight, which was surprisingly short, he doesn't. There are points in the fight where Todoroki tries to go all out, but he just isn't able to. And Bakugo ends up winning the final match, of course. Bakugo is furious, despite winning the match. And, so much so that he actually needs to be knocked out and restrained for the award ceremony, and All Might shows up to present everyone their medals. Then the episode kind of just shifts at the halfway point to exploring the individual members and their family situations. We get Ida going to visit his brother, who's super almost dead at this point. He's in super critical condition. And everyone at school is told that they can get a couple of days off while the school organizes new announcements from the pro-hero recruiters. And there's a bit after the credits that goes into Todoroki. Oh, that's before the credits, but I want to get to that part last. That goes into Midoriya and his mom's reaction to how he fought, and Uraraka and her parents, and Bakugo and his parents a little bit. But the most important part is Todoroki and him deciding to go visit his mom for the first time since the incident. And yeah, overall, pretty solid episode.
I think this might be my episode of the week because, like I told Silveroni earlier, it's not a lot happened. But, a lot happened. In a sense, the fight was wrapped up super quick, but it's everyone's reactions before and after, that's what happened.
That was the focus of the episode, on people's reactions to everything, but I don't know. I was really underwhelmed by the fight. I get that wasn't the focus, and I think it was intentionally done so that the fight would be lackluster. But, I don't know. As a final fight of the arc, it was just really not that well done.
Well, it's not the final fight. Oh, what is the final fight of the arc?
Yeah, the tournament, yeah.
But it wasn't, the main fight.
It wasn't the main fight, and I get
think it wasn't meant to be.
The whole purpose of that fight was Todoroki's not going to go all out, so it's not going to be an impressive fight.
But I think they set it up well in the fact that, it wasn't surprising that this happened. He was they build it up from literally since he beat Midoriya, that he's has all this inner conflict within himself, which literally leads him losing. Which, cause he's not even shook by that. He's in order to move on, I have to, finally face my trauma of what happened to me as a child, and face my mother who's been committed after all these years and whatnot. No, I think that's...
I get that, but I mean, all right, for example, I think that this whole tournament did a good job of being unpredictable for the most part, with who wins and who loses. But for this final part, it was we called it last week. It was extremely predictable, where Todoroki should have won, but he's not going to because he's not going to go all out because trauma, and Bakugo's going to win and get super upset about winning. So, I don't know. I just felt it was too predictable of a setup. And it could have done a little bit more to kind of I don't know, be more creative with how they like. My whole big problem with the episode is the fight. That's pretty much it. I love the after part with them interacting. I especially love the part with Todoroki going to see his mom, and I want to see what happens. Like, I want to see her reaction. But the first half with the fight was just super disappointing. Like, I called that last week, and it was obvious what was going to happen. And on top of that, it was just, lackluster fight.
Yeah, I will admit that the fight was indeed lackluster. Like, it could have been done just... Oh, it could have at least gone on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
At the very minimum. Yeah, it was okay. And even though we knew it was going to happen, I don't think that's like a bad thing. I guess in this case it was the execution, but as far as I'm concerned, it's literally just like the execution around the fight. Everything else was done well.
Bakugo's, the second half was done well.
I will say this. I think they like at the beginning they were good at showing like Bakugo's like fury / anguish about like his whole complex, but I think they made it a little bit more. They made it a little more gimmicky towards the end, which I thought
he's
took away
always
from
upset.
it a little. Like he's just this anger means nothing. But you know he has like a giant complex. Like literally,
I kind of like that though. Like it's not super serious and edgy with his complex. You know, it's not like Sasuke status where he's just like, ugh, I hate everybody, everything. No one understands me.
I mean,
he's just over the top.
I think weirdly enough, I think the Sasuke emo-ness, I think if they did it in this episode, just this episode focused on it, I think it could have made his character just seem a little bit more complex, because now he still just seems like the hothead. Like they could have been I feel like it could have been an opportunity to really added some complexity and depth to his character, and they were just like, running gag.
I think that, I think it's mostly because I have a feeling that they will add to he's going to have his own character arc coming up probably next, and they're probably going to save that for then. So I think for now they just wanted to focus on Todoroki and a bit on Ida.
Alright.
But, I would also like to see Uraraka kind of get some more serious-ish moments.
Yeah. Her serious moments were unexpectedly good.
Mm-hmm. Solid episode. Good way to end the arc. I'm interested in seeing where it picks up, because there's no real pickup point that I can think of. Like, this could have easily been the last episode of the season. It's not, but it could have been.
I think the next episode is literally just going to be like, we're living our lives, and then Stain comes.
Slice of life fish.
For like a few episodes, and then Stain, the guy who killed Ida's... Well, not killed, but like almost killed his brother is going to come up, and then Ida's going to go all like crazy and yada yada yada.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably get... Next week is probably going to be low-key for at least half the episode, and I think maybe the last half or third of it, Stain will show up or something will happen.
Alright. That being said, let's move on to Attack on Titan. So, and this, I believe, this is the last episode, episode 12. Picks up from, the episode from last week, where they just like rescued Eren, but then Eren and Mikasa got knocked off their horse, just to be faced with with the Titan that ate his mother. So yeah, the episode starts out in like essentially pure chaos on the battlefield, like this guy's talking to like the commander, Erwin, and then Erwin's like responding to him, and then he doesn't even realize that guy that he was just talking to just got picked up and eaten by a Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show's good at showing utter chaos.
Yeah, it really is. Mikasa, Eden, and Hannes, they face off against the... I refer to the Titan as the Mom Titan, which is kind of fucked up, but...
Well, now it's the Mom and Hannes Titan.
You ain't shit for that. So yeah, Hannes is like, time to get revenge, fight. And while everyone tries to help them, like the other rest of the gang, quote unquote, tries to get help them, Reiner is still desperate to capture Eden, so he's literally just like throwing Titans to block their path. Eden tries to transform in order to fight, but like he just can't for some reason. I assume he's still
he's still recovering.
Damaged. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mikasa is like injured from getting thrown off her horse after a ballistic hit strikes almost kills her.
Titan.
Yeah, ballistic Titan. So yeah. And everything's going great, and Hannes is kind of just doing his thing, and everything's good, and then it's not. Hannes gets caught by Mom Titan and ends up getting eaten by it, and Eden and Mikasa are just essentially... they can't do anything about it. So they just watch him get eaten, and then it's one of those moments in a show or movie where just you're just watching everything around you as there's once again more chaos. And then Mikasa and Eren had this touching moment because they're both we're about to die. We're about to die, so I guess we might as well just get all this wonderful share this wonderful moment together before we're literally eaten by all these Titans. But then I don't know, Mikasa... what did Mikasa say? Something about...
I don't think it was such a wonderful moment. I think it was just Mikasa trying to take advantage of a situation to kiss Eren.
Yeah, she was like... I think she was trying to confess. How
touching it was for Eren.
I think she was about to be ski this.
She leaned in for a kiss when he got up, and she missed and fucking almost ate grass if you look at the scene again. It's one of those little small details that you can easily miss.
Yeah, and then Eden is like, thanks, Mikasa. Your failed attempt to kiss me has awakened a fire deep within me. Time to go Super Saiyan. And
damn it, I was literally going to say that. I was going to say Eren goes Super Saiyan when you were...
You're welcome?
Stealing my lines beforehand.
And I think one of the Titans reaches out to them, and he literally punches the Titan with his own fist, not transform, literally just with his own fist. And then he's like, "I'm going to kill you." That makes that declaration of I'm going to kill you, that everyone does in anime. And apparently all the Titans hear it, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we're all killing her now." And he somehow controls the Titans and manipulates them into all eating this one Titan. Everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know how the fuck it happened, but it's time to bounce.
And then Eren screams out, "Every Titan kill yourself," and then the series ends forever. And that's the end.
Nope, because he's not that smart. I think essentially, essentially he just tells them to attack Reiner and Bert. He just hey, attack them too. And then Ymir, in a very sweet scene, leaves Historia to protect Reiner and Berthold because she's like, well, maybe they can help me find out who I am because I don't think I'm gonna do well back behind the walls.
Which is dumb. I think she would have been fine behind the walls.
Yeah, I think they were just like...
They would have just been like, oh, it was all part of her plan to get Eren back or something.
Yeah. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. That's like a 50-50. But yeah, that's what happens with that. What else? Oh, so apparently for a while, Wall Rose, like the news of Wall Rose being breached with like that giant fucking hole, the refugees moved to an underground city in Walsina, and they're like, we only have enough food and whatever to last a week.
Which, by the way, if there are underground cities, just do that. That's like better against the Titans than living in a walled city. Just live underground.
They're like fuck
like the
that.
Titans literally cannot go underground. They cannot go underground. Just live underground.
They're like, fuck that. We want some sun. Yes.
Yeah, so stupid. If you have an underground city, just go underground. That was my biggest issue in the episode, actually.
But yeah, so they declared the wall safe again after a week. I think they pretty much just did that because they're like, we don't have any food to feed these bitches. We have to let them go. And whatever happens, happens. And at the end, Erwin had a conversation with Hanges and Connie and the other super kill guy who's like kind of crippled as of the moment. I forget his name.
Levi. He has the easiest name to remember. Yeah, you keep forgetting his name.
Who?
Levi.
Oh, Levi. Right. But it's like you literally only seen him like 3 episodes this season. Like that's it.
He actually hasn't done any fighting at all this season, I don't think.
No, he hasn't really done much of anything. Not saying that's his fault, but yeah. So they're like discussing about the possibility that the people of Rangako, which is Connie's village, may be responsible for like this whole incident. Especially because like Connie's mom seems to have turned into a Titan. Which is like really doesn't say much. Like that's just speculation from their parts. But what is interesting is as they do like, you know, the final end scene where it's like shows like everyone in a very stoic looking manner, and then on the walls of Wall Rose, I believe, it shows the giant fucking Titan who can talk, and it shows some guy wearing glasses that looks a lot like his dad. And that's where the episode ends. And can I just tell you, I would be really fucking pissed if that's his dad. I'm like, that would be like,
it's his dad.
I know that's like
he had like a really scruffy beard and everything.
That's like a Naruto level like stupidity. Like that's one of the reasons what I hate about Naruto is literally everyone called the things that are so obvious from day one. And I literally chose not to believe them because I'm like, this is way too obvious. Like, this would require very little brain cells to match the 4th Hokage to Naruto just because they both have blonde hair. Like, there's no way they could, like, it's father and son. That'd be too predictable. That'd be too lame. That'd be too boring. Boom. What happens? Everything I just said. Which is why I hate Naruto.
I love how we went from talking about Attack on Titan to bashing Naruto in, like, 2 seconds flat.
Anyway,
and by we, I mean you.
It was just like in Naruto, it was a bad reveal.
Naruto had some good reveals, though. It had, like, the Itachi thing was a good reveal, I think. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed bag with Naruto.
Yeah, it's like mixing. It's like half the bag is M&Ms and half the bag is full of shit. But once that bag of shit and M&Ms get mixed up, do you want to eat any of what's in the bag?
Or
no.
It'd be a better example if you just said it's like half the bag is M&Ms at top and then shit on the bottom, so you can just eat the first layer of M&Ms and then throw the bag away. Because all you need to do is watch up to the Chunin exam, and then that's pretty much it.
Wow, and that's a very thin layer of M&Ms.
It's still like 100 episodes worth of M&Ms.
You said the Chunin exams.
Isn't that like episode 100 or something? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Chunin exams is like episode
4 arcs in.
Chunin exam is like after the Zabuza arc. That's like the Chunin exam happens like episodes 20 to 30.
I don't think so. There's filler in there.
Do you want to bet? I would love.
I don't care enough to bet because we're talking about Attack on Titan, not Naruto.
Exactly. Anyways, point is that's a really dumb reveal because it's so stupid obvious. It gets me
if
mad.
that is the reveal, I don't think it is. He doesn't look like his dad outside the fact that he has glasses on.
I know. That's why I'm hoping that it's not his dad.
He looked like a guy from Helsing or something. Actually, he
does.
Like he fit the style
oh my
of
god,
the show.
I think he looked like the priest, the crazy priest.
Yeah,
dude.
he looked like the priest from Helsing. I'm like, oh shit, there's a crossover happening right now. The only way to get Attack on Titan better to have the Helsing Ultimate crossover.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking insane. But yeah, no, this episode was awesome. Like, it was just an awesome episode.
It was the last episode. Did we mention that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was a good ending. It was a good ending to the pretty damn intense season.
Mm-hmm. This whole
I don't know if I'd say it's better than season 1. Because there was like... I would say season 1 is still better than this. I would say that. Only because there was more there. This felt like an extended OVA. It felt... Because it was only one arc. It just felt like a really long OVA, if you ask me. Whereas season 1 felt like a series. This was like
only 12, 13 episodes.
Arc. I know, but it was just like an intense arc. It was like really focused on one arc.
Well, it's only 12, 13 episodes. Like, what do you expect?
No, you could have like Hero Academia last season, I think covered 2 or 3 arcs in like 12 episodes.
Well,
this was like a really intense look at one arc.
It depends on what you view as arcs. Because for me, literally, in my mind, the whole them being trapped in a castle was a whole arc in my mind.
Alright, let's put it this way. It felt like a very contained story. It was like this whole thing took place over the course of like, what, a week? Whereas if you look at the first season, obviously that took place over years. It's like it was a really intense, focused, continuous story that was like isolated. So that's why I felt like an OVA to me. Compared to the first season like where it was more expansive and went into different areas.
Yeah, it was only like that because they had to explain to you how the world works. Like,
I know. I don't care why it was like that. I just feel like this one was more intensely focused on one arc. If I were to compare this arc, this season to any one particular arc in season 1, I'd say season 2 has the best arc, but season 1 is the best season. Just because I felt like it did more.
Of course, it did more.
And it was spread, and there was more like intense.
It had more episode. That's just,
you can have more episodes. You can have more episodes and do nothing with them.
I shot someone with a shotgun, but somehow when I shoot them with a handgun, it doesn't do as much.
For example, in the first season, the whole Annie fucking chasing them around for like 50 episodes was boring as shit for like 10 episodes. But it still was like there were a lot more hype moments and like just really intense scenes and stuff in season 1.
As there were in season 2.
And there were in season 2, but I'm just saying there was more of them in season 1. And I feel like season 1 told a better story.
Series.
I don't. It could be a longer series that's filled with garbage. Like it doesn't. Just because it's longer doesn't make it a better series. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying it has better scenes overall.
All right. Well, I guess you can choose to disagree. I just like I love Ymir's story so much. Like, it's better than anyone's. I couldn't people compare it to Annie, but like I think she's better than Annie because I don't know shit about Annie, and I know all about Ymir.
Someone's biased.
I am. I like her more because they went into detail with her more. Annie is literally just a big fucking question mark. Oh,
Anyway.
she's super cool in the way she did stuff. I'm like, so what? Ymir also fucked up.
She was
lots of
cool,
people.
though. Annie was fucking awesome.
Yeah, so is Ymir. But in addition
Okay, they're
to
both awesome. But I don't know. I just feel like once we get to know more about Annie, I think I'll like her over Ymir.
If that ever happens, it depends. Like, did she ever plan on getting out that ice or the crystal? Who knows?
Well, there is a season, guys. There's season 3 coming out next year, so hopefully, we'll find something out with Annie.
But until then,
if that guy is actually Aaron's father or not.
Yeah, but until then, we're just gonna have to mull over which first 2 seasons are better, and more importantly, move on to the next anime.
Oh wait, are we gonna give it a rating?
Oh, me? Like, I like a 9.5.
9.5. Wow, that's high. I was gonna give it I'm in between 8.5 and 9, but I think I'm gonna lean more towards 9. I think it's a solid 9. It was really, 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 really fucking good season.
Like, literally, the only thing that could have made this a 10 for me is literally if there was, like, a gay couple.
Weird grading scale. There's no gay couple, -5. 9 out of 10, no gay couple.
So never mind. Well, I'm still going to keep it at a 9.5.
Fine.
Very.
Moving on. Moving on is Errol Monk, which I was hoping you would have to do because I have nothing to say about this episode of Errol Monk, surprisingly, in terms of plot. Like, I have a lot to say of it in terms of discussion, but the plot itself is like, I can summarize in a couple sentences.
Yeah, there's not much to say about what happened in the episode.
Essentially, it was an episode with, they finally get back from the beach after so long in the beach. They get back from the beach. Sagiri does this whole little cute thing where she's practicing to say welcome back to her brother, and she kind of doesn't get the chance to. And then the whole episode is just a flashback to how they met, essentially. We get Masamune writing his first novel, which is a web novel, and it turns out that Sagiri is his first fan, and they communicated back and forth about it without knowing who the other one was. We get to see who Sagiri's parents, well, her mother and Masamune's father are, and how they interact with their parents, which was interesting. How they interact with each other when they didn't know who they were, which was interesting. Sagiri pretending she's older than him. And, there's just, they figured out how they met, and at the end they pledged to follow their dreams, respectively, of becoming a good artist and becoming a good writer. Oh, and we get an Ori Imo cameo with them buying Masamune his new book.
Yeah. I was like, what?
The real best part of the episode.
Kind of.
But other than that stuff, I think it was a fun episode. And I think it was a good episode in terms of finally exploring the relationship between Sagiri and Masamune. Besides the sibling thing.
Yeah. First of all, let's talk about the parents. I think that's like a
their
huge
parents
thing.
are awesome.
They kind of are. First of all, the dad, he is definitely getting pussy left, right, and center. Like, he's playing that whole, like, oh, my wife died, I'm all in grief, so we literally go online and, like, fuck 10 girls. Like, I easily can see that, because he's way more charming. He's literally like, if Kuritsugi from Fate Stay Night was like, oh yes, from Fate Zero, excuse me, was like, not crazy homicidal,
not a killer.
Yeah, not a killer, essentially. But just like in Fate Zero, Kuritsugi still was, had...
And they both get god-tier silver-haired bitches.
Exactly. So... So yeah, and he's like super chill and super cool, super awesome. I love him. The mother,
I love the mother more, actually.
I know, of course you do, because she's literally
She's
just
literally
a
just a
grown-up
grown-up version of Saigiri, yeah. Like, down to the fact that we finally figured out how Saigiri got her very fetishy obsessions.
Yeah.
That scene was the best. The one scene where Saigiri's mom just draws like a random nice looking anime girl and then shows it to Saigiri. He's like, it doesn't make me want to lick her panties though. Her mom's like, where did you learn that language?
And in the back of her mind, she's like, shit, it has to be better.
Yeah.
If my daughter doesn't want to lick her panties, something went horribly wrong.
With my picture. And I'm glad it explored the fact that there is chemistry between them. Like, I liked Saigiri, but I think one of my problems is that there's always been more chemistry between Elf and Masamune, and even Muramasa and Masamune, than there has been between Saigiri and Masamune. But now I kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
With that bit of backstory. Like, I can actually see that there's some kind of chemistry there, and there's, like, they get along well. Like, even when they did their little date thing, like, they had their good banter moments and conversation, and
yeah, agreed. It was
good chemistry.
It's a good episode. Anything else
Not
to say?
the last episode, by the way.
Oh yeah, It seemed like a very last episode.
Next
it did,
episode,
but it's not.
Episode. So I'm hoping it gets season 2. Because I doubt that they're going to cover everything. I mean, if it follows the Ori Emo route, it'll get a season 2.
That's true. We'll see. But until then, we will move on to Danmachi.
Yes.
Excuse me. So Danmachi picks up from last episode where Ice, Belle, and Hestia?
Yes.
Okay. They're in the middle of being ambushed. And it's not so much an ambush, like they attack her like once and then they're like,
it was the world's shittiest ambush. They could have just accomplished the same thing in a letter.
Yeah, they could have just sent a letter and said, hey, better not go in the dungeons, girly. Or if you do, just don't go at 59 and then you just bounce. And then people like talk about it saying like, oh, where do these people come from? It's allegedly coming from the Freya Familia. And of course, I love how like in the middle of them doing this, one of the twins and
that was like literally the best part of the episode.
Loki are just doing boob exercises like during the entire conversation.
They're just in the background, just squeezing their breasts together.
It's funny. Lithia finally learns concurrent training. Learns concurrent casting.
Trains twice as hard to do nothing.
She finally like pretty much learns it while it shows while she's sparring with it was with Ice, right?
Yeah, she was sparring with Ice.
Yeah. And then they have this conversation between like the other 3 level 6 guys. And then where we learn how like Finn is like super crazy ambitious, like borderline I'd sell my mother just to get more fame ambition. Like he's like, oh my god, if we ever got this, I'd be the first of my people to ever get this far, and I'd be in history books forever and ever. Oh, it'd be great. I'm surprised he didn't like start like jerking off like right in the middle of the conversation. Yeah. So I guess they're like, they're trying to hype themselves up. They're like, whoa, like all of our hard work has led up to this moment. Yeah, so they're just gassing themselves up. And then the day for the departure finally comes. There's gonna be 2 groups. Ice is in the first group, Lithia is in the second group. Excuse me. Laloon, the dog girl, wolf girl, cat
I
girl.
thought she was a cat girl.
She's one of them. The cat girl.
We're not zoologists here, people.
Yeah, right. She gives Ice this mysterious pendant. That was given to like the hooded person that's always like giving people all these mysterious tasks from like episode 1.
Plot device guy.
Yeah. And then with that, they finally like disembark. But they don't get far because the Minotaurs are attacking again. And one of the adventurers that like managed to escape is like, hey, basically they're like, Belle's trapped there. And Ice is like, I must save him. But then this guy, Otaro, King Otaro, I thought he was an actual king, but he just seems to.
His name.
No, he's just of the Freya familia, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's like one of her strongest fighters.
Yeah, well, I believe too because he's the only level 7 character in this game.
Also, like he just randomly shows up for no. I think we should fight each other right now for no reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is totally because of my own accord. I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. But yeah, but with the help of the other people from the Loki Familia, they're able to distract him for long enough to Ice to bypass him and to help, to help Belle. Yeah. And then Finn is like, hey, my dude, you trying to start some shit? Freya's trying to start a war, and then he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just did this on my own accord. Mirror, and then just walks away. So Ice and the rest of them finally comes to the rescue. But Belle, in a very cool way, stands up and he's like, no, I got this. And he fights the Minotaur, and it's really awesome fight. And he kills him. And
very gruesomely.
What?
Very gruesome.
Yeah, it's a very pretty gruesome death. And it's so funny, like the irony of like that they call him like referring to Tomato Boy, but then once again he's end up covered with like the Minotaur's blood, but just as a result of like fighting him as opposed to being saved. But yeah, and that's pretty much it.
And I think this episode stands out as being the major issue I have with the whole season, which is the best part was just a rip from season 1. Like a rip of the fight from season 1. Literally. Just got the fight from season 1 and put it here.
Yeah. I can understand where someone who's
like,
seen
even
the original
animation for that fight, you can look at it. It's not the same level of animation for the rest of the show. Like, there are parts where Belle's just chopping off the Minotaur's hand and stuff, and like, it's just so well choreographed, and it looks so nice, and it's a little bit more bloody than normal. So you're like, oh wow, this is like a really big budget fight. But no, it's literally just from the first season.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't know what to say about that because I haven't seen it. So, if I guess you haven't seen the first season like me, then I'm just like, oh, it looked like a decent fight. Basically, if you've seen the first one, don't watch this one, or else you're just gonna get triggered all the time. Apparently,
I guess so. I did like the kind of Game of Thronesy vibe that this episode had with all the different familias. Like, oh, Freya's doing this thing and we don't know what she's doing. Finn is kind of like doing his thing where he's like, I want this so badly. I'll sacrifice anything for this. And then there's like another family where, like, was it Uranus?
I think so.
Doing something in the background and stuff. So it's like all these different families. Just
yeah, Uranus, like the bluntly evil one.
They're all fighting for the Iron Throne.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying.
So that part of it was good. I wish it would expand more on family stuff. Family rivalries.
Nope, we're just gonna be annoyingly intertwined. Well, actually, no, because I don't think so. I think the level 59 thing, that's not involved in the first plot, is it?
I don't think so. I don't recall it.
Yeah, so I think this will be the last time that they show anything
Most
from
likely.
episode 1. Unfortunately, the series is over.
We still have 2 more episodes of the series.
Exactly, but like, I don't know. I guess maybe they can go back to like the main town and something could happen.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe not. Who knows? It was a regular episode for this show.
Yeah.
It was I'd actually say it's better than average, but only because of that part from season 1 was in it.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I don't mean to be that kind of bitch, but like, yeah, I'm pretty much done talking about it.
Wow. Guess it's no Gin, no Guardian, as they say. They being Drew.
No, you can just go ahead and continue, please. Renai Boken, take it away.
Renai Boken. This was an uncharacteristically... Well, not uncharacteristic, but a pretty serious episode. It was about Seiji looking for Gyuri from last episode, obviously, when she hasn't come back from her little visit with Shikimi. So Seiji's looking for her for a few days. He doesn't find her. He kind of does these little weird, stupid things to get her attention, like giving her cat food and stuff. Eventually, he gives up and goes to school. Akane, on the other hand, is super ultra happy that Gyuri's gone, and is like literally singing out the window about how much she loves that Gyuri's not there. And Yuzu is just the only one who's like worrying. So they kind of represent the full spectrum of emotion. Like Seiji's kind of indifferent, Gyuri's gone, and Akane's ecstatic, and Yuzu's just like a wreck. So Seiji eventually finds out that Shikimi might have something to do with it, so he just ends up following her around, and he runs into her trying to steal the teacher away from the student council president way back in like episode 2 when they were together. But he kind of breaks them up and drags her to a shed to kind of question her, and of course Shikimi just turns it around, dodges his questions, kind of just restrains him with her web stuff, and just basically starts sexually assaulting him by making out with him against his will. And Akane just shows up and destroys the whole shed and tries to kill Shikimi.
Again.
But, yeah, again. For like the millionth time. But Shikimi reveals that Gyuri was there the whole time and she's been watching him all these days. And then we get Gyuri's perspective, kind of like introspectively, about how she feels about Seiji and how she's like feeling unwanted because he hasn't really been looking for her too hard since she's been gone, and life has been like normal for him. And so she just asks Seiji straight out how he feels, and he totally just fucking drops the ball. And like in the worst
literally
way,
the worst answer possible.
Yeah, the worst possible answer. He starts telling her off, and then she just transforms into a demon. And then my man Mao just shows up like, yup, this was the plan all along. He's like, I've been working with Shikimi this whole time, which is legitimately a really good plot twist.
It really is. I did not expect that.
Yeah, but it makes sense. And then Gyuri is now a fallen angel, and it's her mission to undo all the couples that she put together. So she goes around undoing all the gay couples. Sorry, Drew.
No!
And she also tries to undo Yuzu's love, but that kind of fails, and she gets away. And then Yuzu kind of just turns on Akane and Seiji, and there's like a rift between everybody. And Gyuri's just out there doing her thing. Her evil thing. So yeah, it was a pretty good episode.
It was a really good episode. Like, this is almost like second place. This is like second place for episode of the week for me.
This was second place for you? Oh shit, I didn't do my episode of the week, did I?
You did not.
Oh, well, I'll save it for later. I don't know. It's probably Errol Manga. I think it was Errol Manga. It was a really good episode. Yeah. Going back to but yeah, no, this was a really good episode. Probably second for me as well. I did have problems with it though. namely that
Right.
Seiji was very out of character, I think. Guri was a little bit out of character as well.
I mean, but that's the whole
And
point, like, of this episode.
I mean, like, she was... well, no, not before she transformed. Like, normally she's more... I feel like she's more resistant to Shikimi's little mind game shit, where she wouldn't be so, like, oh, I'm just gonna stay back and watch Seiji and have all these emotions and shit. But then again, she kind of was having that problem from before, so I kind
exactly.
of
like, this has been a seed that's been implanted from her since literally, like, Octa with the Ghost episode.
Yeah. But, yeah, my main problem is that Seiji's super out of character. Like, super out of character. And my other problem is that I think that there's two plot holes. One, Akane not caring that Guri's gone is one thing. But they even bring it up during this episode where...
they're like, if
Guri,
you guys can't work, you guys are gonna die. And she's like, don't give a
be
shit.
Erased and die. And Akane's like, well... so what? Like, what do you mean, so what? You're gonna die and be erased. So I didn't get that part. And the other issue I have wasn't it already established that even if couples were together from the Kiss Note and the Kiss Note, like, gets destroyed, their love is still too strong to break apart if they had enough time to form it? So wouldn't that hold true even with Demon Guri running around? Or is this some separate thing?
Well, see, Guri wasn't aware of her feelings for Seiji, and it wasn't like she didn't know.
No, I mean,
love,
like, of her,
like...
not from that perspective. I mean, of the perspective from her going around breaking people's hearts that were already together.
Oh, I don't know. I think maybe
time to form their love, wouldn't that be like, no matter what Guri does, she wouldn't be able to break it or something?
Well, it's like it's. I think it's different because it's divine intervention of like. Of an evil nature, like if that's a difference from what she's doing, a difference from like, oh, the notebook, like the love book's been like destroyed or something.
I guess so.
Like she's removing the love from it, like quite literally.
Yeah, I guess so. I did still not like Seiji this episode, like, at all.
Yeah, agreed. Like, yeah, he got like just really angry, and then he was like really stupid about it too.
Yeah, it was not my fault. I don't understand what you mean to say it's my fault.
Yeah. Also, you know who I really loved in this episode?
Yuzu.
Yeah, I loved the Yuzu in this episode.
Yeah,
loved her because it just showed how close she got to her. And even to the point where she stepped to Akane.
Yuzu is like secretly the character with the most development.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, best character. Like, she's gotten so much development this series.
Yeah, I absolutely love her.
I also really like Shikimi this episode for the first time ever.
Well, I always love Shikimi. I was gonna say, I literally was about to say that. Like, Shikimi was also good in this episode. Like, she's good in every episode she's in.
I didn't like her too much up to this point, but I kind of got an evil villain vibe from her finally this time around. So, like, a good evil villain vibe, not just like the random shit that she's just been doing randomly. Now it feels like she's truly evil.
Yeah, I love how in the conversation that she has with Seiji, like, for her first time, she actually got mad.
Mm-hmm.
She actually got mad. Because basically he was asking her about, like, Goody, and also trying to tell her to stop being a hoe. Like, stealing the teacher away from the student council chick. And she was like, the fuck do you know about? Yeah. So...
She was good.
I really like
Everybody
that
was good
part.
this episode except Seiji.
Yeah, agreed. Speaking of episodes that we all love, let's talk about Geno Guardian.
I almost spit out.
By the way, it's been greenlit for a second season. Because
yay!
I don't know, because why not? apparently, I actually don't know why. Anyways, I guess they're like, they might not have enough time to actually finish the plot. So it starts from where Suijin and Takeshi are they're in that tournament thing fighting against the Viking dude. And Takeshi's about to attack, but Suijin like stops him and accidentally like knocks him down. And then he like berates him for using his powers because he's like, "Hey, all these wonderful memories you get with your sister, you shouldn't just use them all willy nilly because it's like then they're all gone." So then Suijin takes it upon himself to fight Viking. Doesn't get too far. He ends up getting frozen. He becomes incapacitated. But then Twin Star jumps in and starts fighting the Viking, or at least he tries. Twin Star tries to transform into something, but like it loses its form and turns into like their chibi form, and then the Viking starts kind of like cuddling them, and they're like, stop cuddling us, and then
so weird.
Yeah. and then Takeshi like saves them from the Vikings' grasp, and while he's protecting them, he's getting like pelted by like ice shards from the Viking. So the Viking's just like toying with him at this point. But fortunately, that's long enough for Twin Star to finally reform. I'm getting so tongue twisted over saying Twin Star so many times.
Twin Star, Twin Star, Twin Star.
Okay, you only said like 3 times. Whatever. So Twin Star finally reveals their true form, which is a twin-headed jade dragon. Another one, Jade Dragon.
This show's just secretly a bunch of tongue twisters put together.
Kind of. The Jade Dragon just soundly beats the Viking, and Suijin just hands over the money to Takeshi. Takeshi,
yes.
I don't know why I want
to remember everybody's name in this stupid show.
Oh no, I wrote it down. I was just like, I'm wondering if I like said it correctly.
Cheater.
Yeah, I'm a cheater. How dare I write notes?
Hard mode, no notes.
I would just say this guy and this guy and this guy did something to this guy. The end. But yeah, Takeshi gets the money and is able to, I assume, to like save his sister, because now they can afford a better hospital and medicine and treatment and yada yada yada. And that's the end of that episode.
Yeah. There are 2 things I liked about this episode.
It's pretty much it. And like I keep saying, like I can digest this easily because it's only 7 minutes. If this was a whole episode, like literally, if last episode and this week's episode was a whole episode of all this shit, I would literally hate the show. But it's like 7 minutes, so I'm like, okay, I can deal with it.
I can deal with 7 minutes of people shoveling shit down my throat. But if it's 20 minutes of people shoveling shit down my throat, then that's a problem.
No, because it's like funny. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's funny, and sometimes like how bad it is.
I did like how they did not make him some super strong like Kirito type, and he's just garbage, and Twin Star had to save him. That is probably my best point about the episode. That and how he turned away the money at the end, even though it was real money.
Yeah, those are some funny parts. I just like Twin Star because I don't know. I like Twin Star.
She's better than Rikure.
Yeah.
What happened to that person? I haven't seen Rikure in like 3 episodes.
She was there last episode.
Was she?
Yes.
I don't remember. It's hard to remember what she does and what she does.
She was in the beginning, and she like accepts the
Oh yeah, you're right.
The phone.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much all I have to say about the show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this.
I think it's all right. I don't think it's good. Well, I think it's okay for what it is, and I think we were talking about this earlier. But I feel compelled to continue watching it, even if we don't cover it next season or whatever.
Which apparently we won't.
Which, well, we'll get into that later. But I don't know. I feel like compelled to just keep watching it for whatever crazy masochistic reason.
All right. Well, then I guess you can look forward to next week's episode as well.
Yep.
And with that, we're going to end things up with our last anime, which is
the always poorly voted Alice Todoroki. So it picks up right where the last one left off. Sana traps IU in Wonderland with her kind of really cute interpretation of punishment for evildoers, where it's just basically time out for her. Like, no snacks, no bathroom, just sit in here and do nothing. While I do whatever. And IU just makes her frazzled because she doesn't I'm just gonna keep saying that every time now. That's my new word for anything. IU makes her frazzled because she doesn't really seem evil. Like, she's making a case for her friend and everything, and so it's kind of messing with Sana's black and white concept of good and bad. And she gets yelled at by Zoroku for turning the bathroom into Wonderland, and she releases IU. And they just continue to talk to each other, and IU keeps making a case for, is her name Hatori? It's Hatori, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. For Hatori to be good, or Hatori being a good girl. So Sana tries to check out herself, and she ends up trapping Hatori in Wonderland to see if she really is good or not. But Hatori kind of makes a case that she's evil because, of course, she's a preteen and she's all angsty. And the two just continue to argue back and forth until their powers collide again and cancel out. And all the Wonderland collapses, and suddenly everyone outside, or most people outside, start manifesting their own powers all at once. And Hatori's parents and IU's parents notice that she's missing, so they go on a manhunt for her. At the same time, Zoroku goes out to look for Sana because he hears that something happened. And Sana and Hatori wake up on like this snowy mountaintop, and they find out that they can't use their powers, and they're kind of stranded. And that's where it ends. Nice.
Wait, they're not on a snowy mountain. They're not in the snowy mountain. Well, they're not in
the. It was like snowy.
They're stuck in a chasm.
Well, snowy chasm. Sorry for my improper terminology.
You literally like geographically said the opposite of where they are.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna stick you on a snowy chasm, and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference to where you are, if you're on a snowy mountaintop or a snowy chasm.
Why are they talking about this anime? You just threatened to do something to me.
Because
you endlessly drug me with needles. Now you're about trying to throw me down a fucking chasm with snow.
This anime makes me want to kill you. I guess that's the simple answer to it. Snowy chasm, bro. Snowy mountaintop. Same.
Well,
they're stranded in a snowy area and about to die.
I like this episode. Also, I have to point out that that, as I said before, the whole bad witch thing is something that she made up to compare herself, which I finally can prove to you.
Oh my god,
that she did, because she called herself the bad witch.
We already had All Witches' Lives Matters, and I got us in trouble with Facebook.
No, I just want to put to bed with the fact that I was right.
You weren't right. It's still a shitty metaphor. That makes no sense. I'm a bad witch. Okay, she's a bad witch. Doesn't mean anything to the point of the show. Is there an evil witch in Alice in Wonderland? Is there? Because if there isn't, then metaphor is irrelevant still. Maybe if Alice trapped her in the fucking Wizard of Oz.
I'm a bad queen.
If Alice trapped her in the Wizard of Oz world, then her metaphor would make sense. Because you see how there's an evil witch in Wizard of Oz, so it's like combining concepts there. No, that there's no evil witch in Alice in Wonderland.
But
so
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the point of the metaphor. Calling herself that.
The metaphor is not deep enough. Sorry, it's irrelevant.
Sure, whatever. It's not worth complaining about. But yeah, it was a good episode. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect them to get trapped inside. I thought it was gonna be resolved very neatly, kind of.
I thought they were just gonna fist fight each other.
Whoa. First of all, you know Sonic can't fight.
I didn't say Sana was gonna win. I said they would fist fight each other.
You say Az was gonna get her ass kicked by Haku.
Yes.
Yikes.
I mean, she kind of already did.
She got shoved by her. That's it.
Lucky Patry didn't take it to the next level.
I guess so. Could you just imagine, like, she pushes her down, just jumped on top of her and just started beating her senselessly while, like, Ayumu just, like, watches in horror?
Some Bakugo Todoroki shit going on.
Jesus Christ! Why does anime always bring out the violence?
This anime brings out the violence in us.
God, every time.
I did really, really like how it just went into detail about kind of how I always want to call her Alice. How Sana is having trouble coping with her perception of good and evil.
Yeah,
and even the twins,
it's a good theme to latch on to.
So yeah, I kind of want to see how Sana grows to. I'm assuming she's gonna grow to like Hatori when they're stranded together, trying to figure out a way out.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and and if you guys want to know how we feel about that, you're just gonna tune in next time for next episode of G&A Podcast. And, hopefully I'll still be there instead of being drugged multiple times and thrown into a fucking snow chasm.
You're gonna get stabbed with needles and thrown into a snowy mountaintop in a
you're gonna
witch's
throw me
outfit.
into a snowy mountaintop, not thrown
with a
on
witch's
top of
outfit
it,
on.
thrown into one.
Thrown into a snowy mountain. Yeah, thrown into a snowy mountaintop with a witch's outfit on while drugged with needles.
Sounds
and
good
then you're
to
gonna tell me how good of a metaphor that is.
Sounds great. And if the rest of you agree, then by all means, you can hit that like button, comment, and or subscribe. And yeah, before this gets even more violent again, we're just going to end things there. Bye.
Bye, guys.